It starts with kuyckcod.com. If you like this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell button. So now today we are looking at a problem which is called container with most water. It's an easy problem. You are given an integer array height of length n. There are n vertical lines drawn such that the two endpoints of the ith line are I0, which is the point on the x-axis, right? And I and height. So on the top there is another point. So that is the 2 points or 2 vertical points. One vertical point on the line is denoted by these two points. So find two lines that together with x-axis form a container such that the container contains the most water. Return the maximum amount of water a container can store. So basically, given a height like this, there are elements which are heights. So if you think x-axis here, and then all the heights are like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So indices are the location of the height, right? So at the 0th index, height is 1. Index 1, height is 8. Index 2, height is 6, like that. So we have to pick up two heights, right? Two vertical lines, and such that the area between these two lines will be maximum. So how can you check how the maximum area can be found, right? So maximum area can lie between two lines, right, far apart. For example, height 1 and height 7, because there are the distance between these two are quite much, right? So, or it can come between two lines which are close to each other but having a higher height. For example, 8 and 8, right? So the 8 will have this big line, and then this 8 will also be this big line, but the distance between these two positions, points, are smaller, but still it can make a bigger areas, right? So the key idea is that we have to consider all combinations. Actually, we have to consider all the lines, right? All the lines to find the maximum area. So what we'll do, we'll use a two-pointer approach. The left pointer will point to the first element, and the right pointer will point to the last element, and then we'll create the area. We'll calculate the area and keep track of the max area. So how can we do that? If you come down here, so I have a max area which is initialized to 0, and the left pointer and the right pointer, right? So now we are looping through this height array, right? Left less than right, which is the condition. So I'm getting the left height and getting the right height, right? And then if the left height is 0, there's no point of calculating the area, because area will be 0, right? Because the height and the length, height multiplied by length, will be the area. So here I have the length, right? And here I have the height, and height is mean. If one of them is 0, then it will have 0, and multiplied with the length, then it will return 0. So there is no point if the one of the height is 0. So if left height is 0, we'll move the left one step to the right, and then we'll continue. Similarly, if right height is equal to 0, then we'll move right pointer toward left, so we'll decrement and then continue. Otherwise, we'll calculate the area and check with the max area. If the current area is greater than the max area, we'll consider the current area as max area, right? And finally, if left height is smaller, then I'll move the left pointer toward the right one step. If the right pointer is smaller, then I will move the right pointer toward left one step, right? And finally, after this loop is over, finally max area will hold the max area that can contain the maximum water, and I'll return this max area. Yeah, that's it. And if you want to write this, practice this, then you can write the problem here, right? And then I'm just copy pasting it here, and then you want to execute on this input, then click here. It'll be executed, right? You can change the input. For example, instead of 7, you can give like say 80, right? So yeah, so this is the new result. And if you submit, right, if you submit, then the code will not be executed on this input, because there are 1020 internal input is there. So submit will execute on each of those input, and if all of those input um, input and output are passed, then you will see this result. um, so yeah, and we have other problems as well. I have this hot list. This hot list are from week 1 to week 10. If you want to practice more, you can practice here, right? So this list come from the blind 75 and grind 75, which is very important list, right? And if you find any, there are other problems as well. So if you like any other problem, for example, design a text editor, and if you want to um, make it a favorite, because for example, say I have one algorithm in the favorite, so I can add to favorite, like, so I'll not forget that this is my favorite. So this is one mechanism. um, so yeah, that's it. If you like this channel, please subscribe, and comment. Thank you. Bye.